What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the channel. My name is Tristan. Hope you guys are enjoying your day, night, whatever it is, wherever you may be. Today, guys, I am giving you the best settings possible in order to play well in the Modern Warfare 4 beta. So if you guys do enjoy the video, please make sure to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and without further ado, guys, let's get to it. So starting off here with the quick settings. Now, these are really going to depend on you, what you're playing on, whether it's PC or on Xbox or PlayStation. And it also is really going to depend on your preferences. Now, for me personally, I'm using a 1.55 horizontal sensitivity and a 1.5 vertical. This is a lot higher than I'm used to. I think in Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7, I was around a 1.2. But really what I found is that the movement is so slow in this game that you have to have a higher sensitivity. And then button layout, I play on default. You can play on tactical, but for me, that's always just been my big thing. We are going to keep controller vibration off, and then also look inversion at standard. Congrats to anybody who actually plays on this. Now, field of view for me, I personally have it at 100. You can keep it at 95 if you really want to, but I find that that's a sweet spot kind of for me. Now, as far as audio goes, we're not really going to change any of this stuff, and we're not going to change anything when it comes to the advanced motion sickness. Now, I am playing on a laptop with a Xbox controller, so again, what you see for me is a lot different than what you might be used to. Again, all of these are going to be the same thing. Now, we are going to keep low motor strain, bumper ping, and swap off, as well as controller vibration off. And then when it comes down to dead zone inputs, this is where we do a lot of different things. So first off, for my left stick min, I have it at 0. For my left stick max, I have it at a 60. For right stick min, I have it at a 1. And then I have it at a 89. And I have my left and right trigger at 0 because I want it to actually be instant when I'm ADSing or trying to kill somebody. That way it's not, too crazy. And keep in mind here that, again, I'm getting a pretty bad stick drift across the board, both on the left and the right. So it is absolutely necessary to test these out. As far as sensitivity multiplier goes for aiming, I have everything at a standard 0. Look inversion is going to be nothing that we touch at all. And then for your advanced aiming settings, this is very, very important. So ADS sensitivity transition timing, you need to have at instant. Basically, this is going to instantly apply when aiming down sights. Then for third person ADS, you keep it at assist. And then this really kind of depends on the player that you are for the response curve type. If you're somebody who's brand new, slow starting movements that speed up over time, standard is going to be great for you. I personally play on linear over the last few years, but also occasionally I do switch to dynamic. And then custom sensitivity per zoom, I have the first 3 options up to a 4x and 5x zoom at 0.75, and then after that is a 1. Now, for target aim assist, we are going to keep that on. And then we're not going to mess with anything as far as the motion sensor function. And the same thing here. For movement, a couple of different things. You want to have sprint assist off, as well as mantle assist off and corner slice off. My slide or dive behavior is tap to slide. Slide maintain sprint is something that you absolutely want to have here. And then I'm not really going to change much when it comes to any of this stuff. The movement behaviors pretty much default will be perfectly fine for you. And then for combat, my aim down sight behavior, I have it at a hold. So I know some people do like doing a toggle, just not for me. And then weapon mount activation is ADS plus melee. We're not going to change any of these particular things. Combat advanced settings, the biggest one that you really want to have is that you want to keep your zoom activation on sprint, tactical sprint, and focus. And you also want to turn off mantle cancels reload. So that is a big thing. And also the weapon mount movement. Now, if you're on keyboard and mouse, well, that kind of depends on you personally. For me, I don't use keyboard or mouse, and that's just kind of how it is. Maybe one of these days I might, but it's not in the cards for me. Now for graphics, personally, I am playing display adapter wise off of my laptop's 3060, which does the job for the most part. It's typically getting me about 70 frames per second, 18 millisecond, which is not bad at all. My aspect ratio, I keep at automatic. Now, background shader preloading is something that recently came out, and I will say that it is preventing performance issues when playing on a map, and I will tell you that I probably need to do a little bit of it, but I just haven't chose to do it. And then display gamma is at 2.2. I could do 2.4, but I'm just not really focused on that. Gamma and brightness, I keep it at a 50% for me. If you really decide, like, hey, I want to play it at 75, 75 is perfectly fine. And then for NVIDIA reflex low latency, I have this at on plus boost. I have eco mode efficiency as a power saving. You can choose to do it as custom, but that's just personally me. I don't really change much about any of these stuff personally. That's just kind of how I am. Now, when it comes to quality, I personally go with the recommended. You can do some of these other ones here if you really feel like it. For upscaling, I'm currently using NVIDIA DLSS, which is going to give it a better way to boost frame rates and generate better images. And then my VRAM target scale, I have it set to 85, which is perfectly fine. You want to turn all of your motion blur, so world motion blur, weapon motion blur, world depth of field, and weapon depth of field off. Otherwise, it's going to feel really weird. For details and textures, now pay attention, folks. So texture resolution, you want to have this at normal unless your system can handle at very high. Mine necessarily can't, so I keep it at normal. Texture filter anisotropic, I keep it high versus ultra. Detail quality at high. Particle resolution very low. Bullet impacts are a yes. Persistent effects, I turn that off. And then shader quality, I keep these both at high. On-demand texture streaming. So this kind of depends on you as a person. For me, I'm probably going to keep that as just a 36. No download limits or anything like that. Local texture is going to be low. In-game video quality is going to be high. And then again, the shadow and lightning, we're not really going to change much with any of these as it goes. I'm just going to do that real quick. Field of view, like I said, is at 100. Third person field of view is at 90. And there is this new feature called Enhanced FOV, which basically enables like additional field of view. But I haven't tried it out yet, so it completely is up to you. And now for audio, when it comes to audio, I have master gain volume at 100% for just everything. I feel like that's perfectly fine. My speakers obviously are going straight to my Xbox controller, which is, perfectly fine. Stereo is what I have there, home theater, and there's not really anything else that I would change here. You can choose to mute the game when minimized or mute licensed music. And then also you want to reduce your tinnitus sound. So, if you get hit with a concussion or a flash grenade, it's not going to be as loud or bold. Voice chat depends on, how you are as a player. I just keep it as is. So, just keep that in mind. And then for the interface, so there's not much here that I would say, you can choose to skip kill cams. I would certainly do that. You can choose, I make sure to skip the introduction movie every time. And then on top of that as well, telemetry, just kind of keep it as is. Readability, nothing really changing there. HUDs, what I like to do is I like to personally have a square for the minimap shape and minimap rotation. You can choose to have a radar on as well, which I personally think is really good. And then you have your compass and all that. Now your crosshairs, this is going to be a really big thing. Personally, you can choose to have them static or on. I personally just keep them on. And then otherwise, there's not really much here that I would personally change. So that, everybody, is the settings that I have for you guys when it comes to the Modern Warfare 4 beta. Let me know what works for you guys down in the comments section below. But if you guys did, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see all of you guys